What's going on, everybody? This is Brian with SneakerFiles.com, back with another news video. And over the next week, there's going to be a lot of 2022 Jordan brand info coming out. But first up, some stuff leaked yesterday, so I gotta supply this video. And before we get into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe by hitting the red button below. Now, we have details on the Air Jordan 6 UNC and the Air Jordan 13 University Gold dropping in 2022. Other than that, we have some more stuff from Jordan Brand. From Nike, I'm going to go over Vanessa Bryant recently speaking out about the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Mambacita. And of course, there's more from Nike. We also got stuff from Adidas and Reebok. And now, without wasting too much more of your time, let's jump into the news. When I first saw this pack, I was super hyped for it, and I thought so many other people were going to like it also, but it turns out it looks like I'm amongst a select few that actually want the Nerf Reebok collaboration. Now, if you're like me and you want the pack as well, there is 4 pairs releasing. 2 of them will be the Reebok Pump Omni Zone 2. The first one is known as Light Jammer, and the second one is known as Big Bad Backboard. We also have the Kamikaze 2, which is known as Backboard Breaker, and then we have the Kamikaze 2 Low, known as Backboard Breaker also. All 4 pairs will release on June 24th in limited quantities exclusively for Reebok Unlock members and on Hasbro Pulse US. And then we have a global launch which will take place a day later on June 25th. The Pump Omni Zone 2 will retail at $160, the Kamikaze 2 will cost you $130, and the Kamikaze 2 Low will cost you $110. It's not every day that I see a shoe, if you even want to call it that, and think that it's atrocious. But today is that day, and we have a first look at the Adidas Yeezy Knit Runner. Now, we have several slip-on models from Kanye West, which includes the Yeezy Slides and the Yeezy Foam Runner, and this pair will follow suit. So what you're looking at is an early sample. What actually releases might look different. Now, for the colorway, this is known as Case Power Yellow, and it features yellow across the bottom part of the shoe, as well as most of the upper, and then we have sand on the collar. Now, you might notice that you see the size tag right on the collar, but there's a possibility that it won't be on the retail release. To me, these are bad, real bad, but hey, if you like them, go for them. Don't let me try to steer you away. I definitely won't be spending my money on them. And as for a release, they are expected to either debut late 2021 or early 2022. Heads up for those that want to grab the Nike Dunk Low Dusty Olive, we now have a release date. So images surfaced a few months back, and then we saw the official images a couple weeks ago. And recently, Nike announced that the shoes will debut on June 17th. However, it's very possible that the release date will get changed, just because that is the theme as of late. They should also be available at select retailers, and the retail price will be $100. It seems like there's a million different Nike Dunk releases this year, and you can add one more to the list. This is known as the Nike Dunk High Red Camo. As of late, we've been seeing pairs that are either really simple or highlighted in pastel shades. This is something different. It features a mixture of red and black camouflage on the overlays, and then we have gray on the base. Constructed with leather, we have an aged yellow midsole, which gives them a vintage look. Also, the pair does come with a second set of laces, which matches the gray on the base. Unfortunately, we don't have a retail price nor a release date. They are expected to release sometime this year, and soon I'll have more updates. Let me know your thoughts on all these dunks releasing. Now, I'm not talking about SBs because there is a difference, we all know that, but it seems like the SBs, for the most part, they're not dropping as much as just the regular dunk. And each pair has a cool theme or it's a collaboration. So I kind of like that. But in my opinion, I feel that Nike is definitely saturating the market with the Dunk High and Low. This must have sucked for some people. So yesterday, the Nike LeBron 8v2 Low Miami Nights was supposed to release. Now, if you didn't check the sneakers app and you just woke up to cop the shoes, then you would have found out that an unfortunate release date change took place. So instead of dropping on June 4th, the pair will now release on June 21st. Now, the crazy part of this shoe is that in other parts of the world, they have already released. I've actually had these in hand for 3 weeks now. And last I checked, the resale price, it wasn't too high. And honestly, if you haven't grabbed them yet, I would just wait till the US drop. And if you miss out at retail, then if you really want them, go resell. But the price should come down even more. So June 21st is the new release date, and the retail price will be $180. A couple months back, we learned that Travis Scott would release his very own Nike Air Max 1. Shortly after, we learned that there's a total of 5 colorways expected to release. And since then, we've been seeing previews of this one colorway that's shown. Now, those previews aren't that great, however, we have our best look yet, so it shows off a lot of the details. This pair is known as Baroque Brown, and it also features Lemon Drop, Wheat, and Chili Red. As you can see, we have his traditional backward swoosh that lands on the sides, while it's constructed with mesh, suede, and leather. We also have some unique patterns throughout, and then we have Cactus Jack branding on the heel. Now, as for the release date, all 5 pairs are expected to release this holiday season, and the retail price will be $160 each. Images of the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Mamba Forever, now being called Mambacita, has been going around for quite some time. However, Vanessa Bryant recently caught wind of the shoes and she was upset. So I'm going to go over what she said and give my thoughts on the whole topic. I'm sure everybody knows, but just to recap or fill in any gaps for those that don't. She says, and she posted this on her Instagram, "This is a shoe I worked on in honor of my daughter, Gianna. It was going to be called the Mambacita shoe as an exclusive black and white colorway on her daddy's shoes. I picked the colors in honor of her uniform, the number 2 she wore just like her uniform, the inside pattern, Kobe and Gigi on the back in gold instead of Kobe's signature, the inside of the shoe details butterfly, wings logo, halo, etc. The Mambacita shoes are not approved for sale. I wanted it to be sold to honor my daughter, with all of the proceeds benefiting our Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. But I did not re-sign the Nike contract and decided not to sell these shoes. The Mambacita shoes were not approved to be made in the first place. Nike has not sent any of these pairs to me and my girls. I do not know how someone else has their hands on the shoes I designed in honor of my daughter, Gigi, and we don't. I hope these shoes did not get sold." So apparently they have been sold. We've been seeing select people with them in hand, and there is a retailer, I forgot the name of it, but apparently they accidentally sold the shoes early. Now there's a pretty big problem here, and obviously she didn't re-sign the contract. So technically Nike doesn't have the right to sell the shoes unless there's some sort of stipulation. So I know Vanessa said there was going to be 2 more shoes releasing. One is the undefeated Nike Kobe 5 Protro Hall of Fame. That already dropped. And then the playoff pack Kobe 6. That pair will release on June 11th. So the GG pair, the EYBL that has been going around, apparently those aren't supposed to release. Now, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but according to Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's estate owns the rights to the Mamba logo and his signature. And the sheath logo we see on most of the tongues, that is owned by Nike and the Kobe Bryant estate. So in order to make these shoes and release them, they need approval from Vanessa Bryant, and obviously that isn't there. Now they could eventually pull an Adidas and still release the model, but they would have to change the name. They would have to drop all ties with Kobe Bryant. It couldn't have any of his logos on it, no naming, no nothing. Which at this point in the game, obviously for that Mambacita shoe, you can't really do that. They've already been produced. Now, on the flip side of things, I don't know when she showed her design to Nike, if it was back in early 2020, or let's say sometime in 2020, and she wanted to go forward with the design, she presented it. It takes months for the shoes to be produced. So although the contract is expired, I totally get that Nike still went into production with the shoes because they've already been produced. Now, what I don't get is that the shoes were shipped to retailers. Typically, Nike recalls shoes, and for the most part, they would either destroy them or they'd throw them in an outlet. Now, they've done this on several shoes. They recalled them where they make retailers send them all back. So I'm a little bit shocked that they wouldn't do it with this. But honestly, in my opinion, it's not really a good look on Nike's part. Regardless of her decision to move away from Nike and do something completely different, it's her decision. She didn't want to sign the contract, and as much as I would like for Nike and the Kobe line to continue, it's just not going to happen. So in my opinion, Vanessa could sue. She probably would win a good amount of money. I don't know how much, but going forward, Nike could still release the model, but they would have to call it something totally different, remove all ties to Kobe on the shoes. So that's just my opinion. Let me know yours down below. Former Jordan Brand NRG footwear designer Frank Cooker recently showcased an Air Jordan 19 sample. Now, for the most part, I know a lot of people aren't fans of the Air Jordan 19. I think the model's okay, probably one of my least favorites, but I think if we're getting technical here, then the Air Jordan 19 SC would probably be the #1 ugliest shoe in my opinion from Jordan Brand. Now, for those that don't know, the model originally launched in 2004, and since then we haven't seen a ton of retros. Again, that is due to the lack of popularity. However, sometime in 2019, Jordan Brand created a multicolor pair that was kept a sample. Now the pair reminds me a lot of the Biotech Dunks or even Aleli May's Air Jordan 1 collaboration, the one with the fur on the liner. The colorway isn't exactly on point. I guess maybe it's due to the colors and the suede used. Other than that, these are not expected to release, but I did want to share the images with you guys. Get your feedback. For me, I would not cop this. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm sure if it was labeled a Travis Scott collab or an Off-White, they would probably sell out within seconds. Jordan Brand and Nike will release a new anime inspired pack, and here we have a look at the Air Jordan 1 Low part of the pack known as Mighty Swooshes. Now, there's been a few different nicknames, and the whole ties to anime. I'm not sure if it's just a fictional anime series that Nike is going to make up, something like they did with the Reagan series, or if it's actually tied to a specific series. I'll be honest, I don't watch anime. I really don't know anything about it. And to go over this part of the collection, it features white leather across the upper, and then we have pink on the overlays. Sticking out, the swoosh that is done in a brighter shade of pink, which features fur, and then the same shade is used on the embroidered wings logo that lands on the heel. Some of the other highlights includes white laces and tongue, a spare set of laces, and a translucent outsole that displays eyes. At the time of shooting this video, we don't have a release date nor a time frame, but they are expected to release sometime this year. For those that don't know, the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Shattered Backboard will release in men's, women's, and kids sizing. So a few weeks back, official images of the women's pair leaked, and now we have official photos of the men's. They look exactly the same, but honestly, I don't think I showcased the women's pair. I think I was taking that break from YouTube, so I wanted to include it in this video. Also, a lot of people are not calling them Shattered Backboard, even though it does have the color theme. Typically speaking, and if we're getting technical, every Shattered Backboard release has the shade Starfish. Now, people said that the Shattered Backboard 3.0 wasn't actually a Shattered Backboard release. I think we're getting a little too technical here, honestly. But for me, you can call them what you want. You can call them Shattered Backboard. You can call them Halloween shoes. You can call them the shoes that come in white, orange, and black. I don't care. Now, to the more important part of this is the release information. And currently, they are scheduled to release on August 26th. Also, if I forgot to mention, this is the OG version, so it will include Nike Air branding, which lands on the tongue and insoles. The retail price is $130. Throughout the weekend and next week, you will be seeing a lot of Jordan Brand 2022 releases. Now, I have something very, very big to share with you guys. I'm going to leak it next week. I'm sure a lot of people will be excited about that, so if you aren't subscribed, make sure to hit the red button below. Also, if you like, turn notifications on. I know since I've been inactive that the videos aren't reaching everybody, and I totally get it, but this way you'll be kept in the loop. Now, first up, we have the Air Jordan 13 University Gold. Now, I'm going to tell you this. It's not confirmed that the actual shade is University Gold. What is confirmed is the color blocking. So, the shade that you're seeing of yellow, that's correct. the black, the location of everything, the white, that is all correct. I was fortunate enough to see the pair early, but I wasn't given any specifics. And what I mean by specifics, I wasn't given a style code, I wasn't given a colorway, just saw a picture. So what I did was I matched it up to Carmelo Anthony's Air Jordan 13, known as Class of 2002, and that pair features University Gold. So zsneakerheadz and I, we collaborated on this. I believe he's also calling it Mellow. I'm loosely calling it Mellow. Usually I would call it by the color, so for this pair, I'm calling it University Gold. However, that name might change. And just to state again, this is a Photoshop. However, it's accurate. This is what we are getting. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of like them. Simple. It falls in line to what Jordan Brand has been doing. Just your, almost like your Team Bank colorways. 2-tone colors, even 3 tones. Good for like high school teams or college teams to match. But for a lot of OG collectors, this reminds us of PEs. So as for the release info, they are going to release in 2022, more than likely spring, and the retail price is expected to be $190, although I don't have 100% confirmation on that. Let me know your thoughts on this pair down below, and for me, this is a definite pickup. Man, I seen this shoe a couple weeks ago, and I fell in love with it, and I'm sure a lot of people will also. And this is the Air Jordan 6 UNC, another pair dropping in 2022, and what you're looking at is a Photoshop provided by zsneakerheadz. Shout out to him. And I can also confirm from my sources as well as his sources that this is how the pair is going to look. So as you can see, it features the Carmine color blocking. We have white leather on the overlays, blue nubuck across the base, navy on the midsole, lace lock, some of the branding, and heel. Now on the heel, we'll have the woven jock tag, the same label that was placed on the tongue of the Air Jordan 4 UNC. I feel like this is a better location for it. They'll also have Argyle print on the tongue. I know a lot of people have been asking that with UNC inspired releases, so definite plus, and a translucent outsole. Definitely another pair I'm excited for. And as for the release info, they are expected to release sometime in 2022, more than likely spring, and the retail price is rumored to be $200. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, whatever it may be, make sure to leave it down below. And like I stated early on, expect another video Monday. I have some big news to drop, a big leak, and I'm sure that most of you, if not 95% of you guys, will be excited about it. Now, before I get out of here, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe by hitting the red button below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.